Tim Drake is arguably the best Robin. He is the only one to get not one, not two, but 3 solo miniseries. The first one focused on the training of Tim Drake to become a better crime fighter, and the second one focused on Robin as a solo hero. Now the focus is on Robin as a team player with other allies outside of Batman. This is Robin 3, Cry of the Huntress. This 6-issue miniseries was published in the late 1992 and early 1993. The 2 previous Robin miniseries were very successful, which allowed DC Comics to continue publishing Robin stories. Writer Chuck Dixon and artist Tom Lyle were largely responsible for the series' success, and as the Robin quintessential creative team, they also created Robin 3. The series explores the difficulties that a teenager like Tim has to deal with because of his secret identity, and as the title suggests, this story features the first meeting of Robin and the Huntress. The story happens right at the start of Nightfall. Things were happening in the Batman comics, and that's why Batman is completely absent from this series. The opening of the very first issue establishes that Batman will have to deal with serious things happening in the Gotham underworld, and that's why he tells Robin to stand by. In the meantime, the Huntress investigates the activities of the Gotham Mafia and their dealings with foreign mobsters. With Robin off duty, the story focuses on the day-to-day life of Tim Drake, the normal life of a teenager. We are introduced to Tim's schoolmates, as well as his home life and his relationship to his father, who is still recovering from the incidents that happened in the Rites of Passage storyline. Tim is invited to the birthday party of one of his classmates in the Russian community of Gotham, which is called Little Odessa. While he is there, he witnesses a group of foreign thugs intimidating an old man and his young daughter. Tim helps them out after the incident and learns that the girl's name is Ariana. Her last name is hard to pronounce, but I'll do my best. Ariana Zarshenko and her father own a printing business, and the thugs that attack them want something from them. Tim is unable to do much for them at that moment, but later at night he goes there as Robin. He is tormented because he is disobeying Batman, and because he had to lie to his father to escape at night. Robin keeps a close eye on the printing business, and not long afterwards, the thugs return, but this time with a massive enforcer. They are Russian mobsters, and they start thrashing the place and assaulting Ariana. Robin goes into action, but he is stopped by the massive enforcer, who is none other than the KGBeast. The most dangerous Russian assassin is back in Gotham. The KGBeast was the main enemy of the story called 10 Nights of the Beast. In that story, the Beast was defeated by Batman when the Dark Knight trapped him in the sewers and left him to die. The Beast survived, and now he is back with a better character design. The covers for 10 Nights of the Beast were done by Mike Zeck, who was also brought back as the main cover artist for Robin 3. Robin is helpless against the Beast, and he watches as the mobsters kill Ariana's father and kidnap the girl. Robin chases them, but he comes across the Ghost Dragons, the street gang led by Lynx and King Snake. Robin is outnumbered and would have been defeated if it wasn't for the timely appearance of the Huntress. Robin and the Huntress meet for the first time, and once they realize they are after the same criminals, they decide to work together. This second issue captures the conflict of the series when Tim Drake shows up at school, full of bruises and cuts in his face. He falls asleep in classes, and all this causes his teachers and his father to become suspicious of him, and they start asking too many questions. This adds a layer of realism and complexity to the stories, as it shows the price you would have to pay for having a secret identity like Robin. The characterization is also completely on point. Tim Drake has the natural insecurities of a teenager who is full of hormones, while Huntress is also excellently written. She is a driven woman who has a grudge against Batman and his holier-than-thou attitude. On the downside, there's the dialogues of the KGBeast and the Russians. They were poorly written, with badly executed English-Russian dialect, which becomes annoying pretty quickly. Another issue is the Huntress outfit. it becomes obvious how inadequate it is, with all her skin exposed in the middle of a winter night. The third issue in the series continues to explore the dynamics between Robin and Huntress. They get to know each other while they work together to stop the criminals and rescue Ariana. Unfortunately, they find out that Ariana is dead, and Robin has no reason to keep going. Being a crime fighter and having a social life is almost impossible, and this third issue drives this point home perfectly. Tim is forced to lie constantly to keep the secret safe, and that makes him feel terrible. As the story unfolds, it becomes obvious that the Ghost Dragons, Lynx, and their leader, King Snake, will play an important part in the story as they start to show up more often. It all indicates that the Russian Mafia will be challenged by King Snake's empire. The fourth issue delivers one of the best moments in the whole series, when Robin figures out the secret identity of the Huntress. Using what little information she gave him during their activities, Robin is able to deduce that she is Helena Bertinelli, and this is absolutely great, because this is the true nature of Tim Drake. When he reveals the truth to the Huntress, she is angry and asks if he also figured out Batman's identity, to which Robin replies that that's how he got the job. It's great because it's true. Tim Drake is a natural detective, and he proved it in his very first storyline, where he literally deduced the identities of Batman and Robin. And all this just goes to show that Chuck Dixon gets Tim Drake. However, this is also the issue where I couldn't stop ignoring something that was bothering me in the art of the series. For all the great things that Tom Lyle does with the composition, the details, and the storytelling of his images, there is something that is just unacceptable, and that's the way he illustrates hair. The hair of Robin and the Huntress look terrible. It looks like a kitchen brush instead of human hair. It's inconsistent and definitely not how hair should look like. But I digress. By the end of the issue, things at Tim's home get so dire that his father arranges to transfer him to another school in Metropolis. This leads into the next issue, where Tim goes through a sort of crisis, which is very typical of teenagers who feel like small problems would be the end of the world. It is really interesting to read teenage stories written by an adult who somehow understands them. Now, the first thing that jumps at you when reading the fifth issue of the series is the fact that now Huntress and Robin are wearing black armbands with the Superman symbol. And that's because this issue was published shortly after the death of Superman. The Man of Steel has been killed by Doomsday, and in the following months, all the characters in the DC universe wore black armbands to show their respect for the greatest superhero. Huntress and Robin also wear them, and they go to the hideout of the Russian criminals. Once inside, they get separated, and Huntress is captured by the KGBeast, while Robin finds out that Ariana is not dead. This leads into the final issue of the series, where Robin has to rescue Ariana and save Huntress. It is not an easy task, but Robin manages to get both girls out of danger. They only have to find a way out of the criminal's hideout, but that part becomes problematic because King Snake and his ghost dragons crash into the place in order to take over the operations of the Russian Mafia. The Ghost Dragons outnumber the Russian gangsters and they take them all down, while their leader, King Snake, decides to go into a deadly fight with the KGBeast. The two of them are excellent fighters, and their confrontation is absolutely striking, but in the end, the King Snake proves that he is the superior fighter. Although King Snake takes over the Russian operation, Robin had already sabotaged the plans, and in the end King Snake gains nothing, and instead only allows the heroes to escape and live to fight another day. That closes up all the storylines involving the Russians, the Ghost Dragons, and Ariana. The only loose end is the worsening situation at Tim's home and school. However, that's not an issue, because in less than a couple of pages, things get resolved when his father changes his mind and decides to make peace with his son. If you ask me, this is most definitely a rushed ending to that subplot, but it is what it is. On the plus side, the art was greatly improved in the final issue. Tom Lyle provided only the layouts of the story, and the rest of the art was finished by Grant Miem. And I call this an improvement only because now hair looks right. This was the final DC Comics work by Tom Lyle before he moved to Marvel to work on Spider-Man, and I think that it was all for the better. Robin 3 is a fantastic story that illustrates the struggles of a young man with his double identity, something that is unique for Tim Drake, because he is the first Robin that has a family and a social life outside of the Batcave. These elements were greatly explored, and that's one of the reasons why the solo Robin comics did so well. Another reason was the fact that Tim Drake was always treated as a capable hero instead of just a sidekick. He stood up to the challenge of two big criminals like King Snake and the KGBeast and managed to come up victorious. Of course, he didn't do it alone, which also showcased his qualities as a team player when working with the Huntress. She has her own issues and problems with her secret identity, but sadly that is not explored as much in this storyline. Tim Drake is a young man, and this series shows us how he deals with his first romantic interest when he realizes he likes Ariana. Overall, the series succeeds in introducing many key characters in the Robin universe and exploring the dynamics between them, which will be further developed in the first Robin ongoing series. We will also take a look at those comics, but that will happen much later, because after this video, there is only one way to go. The thing that you all have been waiting for. The countdown for Nightfall has begun. So make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like and write a comment to let me know what are you most interested about in Nightfall. What would you like to see in that long series that is about to begin? Tell me all about it, and I will see you in the next one.